Welcome back to the channel. Here's a quick recap of what we've done so far on my '02 Grand Marquis. Put a lift kit and some massive off-road tires on my car. I sat and pondered my life's decisions. Tried to change the batteries in my clock, but it still doesn't work. Then we went and put some flowers at the grave of people who watch the videos but don't subscribe to them, and got attacked by this weirdo. But then we became friends and had a disco party. So I hope you stick around for the rest of the video and see what other things we can get done on this. Alright, well, we're back at it again on the Grand Marquis. This time we're moving on to the interior. Not much to do in there. Really about the only thing, this stereo right here. Now, in following the theme of this car, I went ahead and went on eBay and picked up damn near the cheapest stereo I could get. It had to fit a couple criteria for me. Really, the biggest thing I wanted was something that was doubled in, just might as well use up the space. And then I wanted one with GPS. Now, as silly as that may sound, you know, it's a nice convenience to have these days. You know, I just wanted something that could get me there, get me home, and not have to worry about it, hopefully. For about $120 something, $130. I picked up, it's a precision power unit, which, if you've been following along for a while, you'll understand that I used to be into this stuff a lot more than I am currently. I know back in the day, precision power was good stuff. For $130, did they fall off? Really? I could care less what the box says. We'll see what the performance is. Alright, so we're out in the car. I may run up to the shop for this just because I have more of my electrical stuff at the shop than I do here. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick shot of, you know, the big reasons why I'm replacing this thing. You know, it has 4 auxiliary inputs. None of them seem to work. I can't even find the button to switch it over to auxiliary. So, you know, whatever. The docking port on the front of it, forget about it. I don't know if that's meant for older phones or what, but, you know, mine doesn't fit. And then the GPS that's on this thing.
In 3 miles, turn left. I mean right.
Yeah, it's wild. So anyway, we're going to get this thing swapped out for a newer one. And cross my fingers, hope this all goes well. Hope I got the right stuff. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, first step to getting this thing out, throwing the tool in here, and getting these locks undone. Ruh-roh. I have a feeling somebody's been in here before, and that lock feels messed up. Oh, there we go. And it's just as simple as that. So I'll show you what happened just in case you were wondering. I think I was right in my assumption that somebody had had this apart before. This tab over here actually popped out of its slot. You can see these 2 little slots right here. They have little tabs in them that retain these springs. And what happens is they pop out like that. So your tool is just going right by it. It's useless, basically. So I had to pop the faceplate off. Unfortunately, that does break the tabs, but you can put these back on and it'll work just fine. I'll screw it back together, but yeah. So there we go. That is out. That is out. And that is out. So we're good to go there. Alright, with the radio out, I can start kind of fiddling around with the install kit. I'll get to the wiring here in a second. With most of these doubled ins for these cars, they always give you the stipulation that dash modifications are required. And this is typically what they mean. You can see the top of my install kit here runs long, but there's this lip back here. And there's also one down here. I know that's kind of hard to see. Right, well, next dash modification. And this is not for the faint of heart. If you got a doubled in that isn't a CD player, this may not be a problem. If it's got the thin chassis on it on the backside, mine is CD, DVD, all that, so of course it's a thick boy. There's a duct back there behind it for the HVAC that is in the way. Now I've started fitting this thing up, and I can only get it to go about halfway in. Unfortunately, I can't find my heat gun. So, next best solution. Don't melt my headliner. Like I said, not for the faint of heart here. I'm literally going to put fire inside my dash to heat this plastic up and form it away. Now, I've already started a little bit just to make sure that this thing will work and I'm not going to burn the car down. Short bursts, that's the key. Now, when you're setting your dash on fire, you really want to make sure you get all your wiring, critical components out of the way. Short bursts, don't want to catch the car on fire. So with, you know, as rough as that thing's getting and all that, I think I may resort to another tactic here. And yes, it's getting hot in here. Setting my dash on fire, you know. Anyway, I think I'm going to resort to something else. I'm going to try and get my body saw back in there and cut that duct out and maybe remake it out of some tin or a license plate or, you know, duct tape, whatever. All right, getting damn close. About another, what, 3/4 of an inch to an inch to get it to go in. I just took the body saw and trimmed around where I'd been melting it and didn't take much more yet because I would rather take too little and keep, you know, just keep going at it than take too much and have to deal with that. So that may not be the most elegant solution, but just an old license plate bent into shape. On the back side there, I just put a long bead, a couple beads of silicone, and let that set up in there. And then for the rest of it, where I got, you know, a few gaps all around there, I'm going to hammer it home with the old Gorilla Tape here. And like I said, not super elegant, but it'll definitely work and it'll definitely hold. And all it really is just the duct for these two vents, so not a big deal in the long run. There we go. I know it looks like hell, but, you know, cheap and easy. It's all sealed up. That Gorilla Tape is sticky stuff, so I'm not too concerned about it coming off there. But, yeah, plugs up the holes I created, and I should still have decent enough airflow. Pretty sketchy. All right, next thing I'm gonna whip up real quick, and I'm not sure if this thing needs it or not, but I know for the most part, these doubled ins that have DVD and playback and stuff, you have to have a signal to the parking brake. And what I like to do is just take a relay. It's a lot of times they need kind of that timed, it can't just be a constant ground. It is a ground, but it can't just be a constant ground. It needs to be like a switched ground. So what I'll typically do is I just take a relay and I'll find my keyed ignition source and tie into one side, obviously tie into the other side of the relay with a ground, and then I'll use the relay to actually switch that. So every time I turn the key on, there's that momentary delay and then a ground to it. So it thinks its parking brake is set, and it allows you to, use all the functions even when you're driving. I'm gonna start wiring this together, and yeah, we're just about done. There we go. Pretty much all she wrote. Adapter to the car, all the plugs to the radio, right there. Everything neatly done up. I like putting a few zip ties in there just to hold everything, split it all up, keep it neat and tidy. It makes it easier down the road if you need to diagnose anything or anything like that. That fits. Is this gonna fit? That doesn't really fit. That doesn't fit worth a damn. I wonder if the factory one fits. That'd be kind of cool. Hell no. Well, that's kind of on. I'll fiddle around with that. You don't want to sit here and watch me dink with that, but moment of truth, I suppose. I probably should have done this before I did all that crap. Oh well. All right. Hello? 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 Ah, there we go. Okay. No actual power button, so. Ah, I have sound. That's a good sign. All right, I'm going to play around with this a little bit and see what we can get. Hopefully recess that back a little bit more. And yeah, that's about done. All right, well, after some slight modification to the trim ring, basically cut the top and the bottom of it off. The sides fit in there nice, and when the unit is pushed all the way back into the dash, the sides of the dash actually hold it in there. So I didn't really need the top and the bottom, and it was too small for this head unit anyway. So I couldn't use the factory trim ring. I couldn't use the one that came with the install kit. Well, all of it, but yeah, that works, and it's pretty clean. I like how it is. The GPS is working. I ended up putting the, you can kind of see it up here. I ended up putting it up there on the dash. I know usually I think they want them outside of the car, but I figured up there on the windshield, yeah, whatever, it's close enough. And if it doesn't work, that cord is plenty long. I can always reroute it back up the pillar and go out the hole up here for my roof rack. Kind of going through some of the settings on it, letting the GPS kind of do its thing and, bleep bloop up into the, atmosphere there. But, yeah, it's so far so good. I went through and played with the EQ. I went through and played with kind of some of the settings, stuff like that. And it seems to be working really well. Sounds pretty good out of it for being just stock speakers. I'm actually pretty impressed for the price. This thing, we'll say this much, this thing does way more than what the Pioneer in my Explorer will do. And granted, that one in the Explorer is pretty old, but it doesn't have GPS. It doesn't have any of the Android Auto or any of that stuff. The USB is, I don't know what the point of it even is on there, because I've never got it to work. And yeah, so far so good. I'm gonna try out this mirroring, screen mirroring thing, and I might look into the app for the remote. Oh yeah, that reminds me, I got the actual remote somewhere. I'll try that out. But yeah, so far so good. For the money, I'm pretty impressed with what it does. That one won't work. So really, just what we need to do is try and stretch this thing out. See if I can make this work. There we go. Well, overall, I'm pretty impressed. I took that thing out, drove it around a little bit, went to the car wash because this thing was filthy, and the GPS seems to work pretty good. It's has the speed built into it, so I was pretty happy with that. That was one of the things I wondered about. It all seems pretty accurate. It's right on. Sometimes with these questionable electronics, you never know if it's how laggy it's going to be or if the GPS is any good, stuff like that. It seems pretty good. Connected my phone, obviously, was able to play back some YouTube through that. That worked pretty well. The app's a little, yeah, but, seemed to work pretty good. I did pick up a few other accessories, not that they're anything super fun or special. I got a new cord because the phone is USB-C and I didn't have just a spare charger or a spare cord for that. And then picked up a cup holder mount. So, pretty happy with those. Right, well, overall, I am impressed. Like I said, been driving around a little bit. It does everything it says it's supposed to do. All the functions work, and for as cheap as it was, I cannot complain at all. Definitely better than the old factory unit. I'll throw that on the shelf with a pile of other factory head units that I have. And yeah, I'm just going to enjoy it. I may, if you guys are interested, come back and do, a 6-month review or something like that. See if there's anything that, pops up that I like or don't like. But overall, the sound is good. GPS works well. That's all I really cared about. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Go down, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We just passed 500 subscribers. That's freaking awesome. I can't believe there's 500 of you crazy so-and-sos that want to actually follow along with my stuff. That's pretty cool. Just a little preview. I got some stuff for the motorcycle coming up. Going to be working on that. It's finally nice out again, so we're going to get that thing back up and going, and got a couple ideas for it. I got some stuff accumulating for the Ranger still, so we'll be back on that here pretty soon. And as far as the Gray Marquis goes, we're getting pretty close to the end right now. There's a few more things that I still want to do. I know I've kind of bombed you with back-to-back-to-back Gray Marquis stuff, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And I know I enjoy it, just quick little projects like this that, are fun and rewarding and don't cost a ton, don't take a ton of time. The most time-consuming thing that I've done was doing the lift on that, and even that was just a day. Anyway, that should do it for this one. I appreciate you guys hanging out. 500 subscribers, that's awesome. Let's get it to 1,000, right? And then keep going from there. I'm shooting for 1 billion. Anyway, we'll catch you next time. Thanks. I finally don't have a mess to clean up. Throw the box away. Awesome.